It's the Terry Sullivan Show. Today's guest, Shawn Sieracki. And featuring Rich Lloyd and the Not a Real Band. And now, Terry Sullivan.
You're so good.
I was good.
How you doing over there?
I'm doing great.
How many instruments do you play?
One. No, no. I play mostly guitar and bass. I played a little bit of fiddle.
Yeah.
And then I just completely gave up on it because it's one of the most difficult instruments I've ever encountered in my entire life. So
you have great respect for Charlie Daniels.
Oh yes.
That boy. That's something about the way he played.
Super nice guy. Miss him so much.
Yeah,
wonderful man. Yeah, I got to do some shows with him, so it's great.
What a great musician.
I agree.
How many guitars do you have?
I've sold most of them.
I mean,
I don't have that many, really.
Are you like John Allen and you just got a garage?
John
full?
has like 50, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Excellent.
I always enjoy you stepping in when Terry's out and he's on tour and
Yes,
hopefully he'll be back at some point in time. But I always enjoy you being here.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Shawn, Doc,
Hello.
how you doing?
Hi, Terry. I'm good.
Good?
I'm good.
I would call you by your last name, but I can't pronounce it. So I'm true Texan. If it's not Smith, we don't go there.
It's Sieracki, for those that are wondering. Yeah. No worries. No one can pronounce it right. Whole time growing up as a kid, teacher would stop at my name, going through the roll call. Like, they got the Jones, got the Smith. My name, it would stop and would pause for 5 or 10 seconds. How am I going to pronounce his last name? And I would say, that's me, I'm here, before they ever got to it. But yeah, I get it.
That's Sieracki.
Sieracki.
And that's Polish.
Polish. Yes, sir.
Grew up in Buffalo in a Polish community.
Correct.
Polish parents, Polish food, Polish jokes.
Yes, exactly. All the Polish jokes. Up in north, the Aggie jokes here are Polish jokes. I remember as a kid growing up, just a little tidbit, I was embarrassed to be Polish because of the Polish jokes.
Yeah.
So I told everyone I was Czechoslovakian, so I wasn't the butt of their joke, and they didn't. But when they knew I was Polish at first, they would always point their finger at me, and it was just embarrassing as a kid being the butt of the joke, you know. But
did you get in a lot of fights?
no, I actually didn't. I was I was a very likable kid. People liked me enough that I had groups of kids that would, hey, Shawn, if anyone ever messed with you, let me know. I never had to get in a fight, but I wasn't like a wimpy kid.
Yeah.
I was a nice kid but I did have some kids that were trying to, but I always had someone that would stand up for me, and I didn't have to take the brunt of anything.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Did your mom, when you were growing up, cook traditional Polish food?
My dad's the Polak, okay?
All
so
right.
my mom wasn't, my dad was the cook, though. And so my dad did cook a lot of traditional Polish stuff. But it wasn't, you know, like I said, it wasn't a traditional Polish family. I think because my mom came into the mix, she wasn't really a cook. So we didn't really do a lot of things. But she did make some of the things that my dad enjoyed. But yeah, it wasn't kind of like what you're thinking, like a traditional Polish family sitting around a table.
Yeah.
That us growing up as kids, it was every man for himself. My mom was in the military, so she had a military schedule. And I just remember as a kid, we would, you know, I'd be eating a sandwich for dinner, sitting around a couch watching a TV show or something like that. And my older sister, Dawn, would do the same thing. And it was eat as you can. But every now and then, maybe once a week, it might have been on a Sunday, I don't even remember what day, that we did have a family meal.
Yeah. You are a doctor in naturopathic medicine.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
All right. So it's holistic. It's wellness. It's naturopathic doctor is someone that's using natural means to help somebody get healthy, help someone get their life back on track. We can use many modalities, many different levels, acupressure, acupuncture we can recommend, chiropractic care we can recommend, herbs and vitamin and mineral supplements, diet suggestions, reflexology. I mean, all of the different holistic modalities that you may have heard of. A naturopathic doctor is one that may utilize a different level of practitioner depending on what he sees need for his client.
But it's all natural.
All natural. Yes, sir. Everything that I've done, been doing it for 26 years, is trying to help people change their lifestyle mostly. It's getting a better and healthier lifestyle.
So now that's interesting. So it's all natural. So does that mean that people who get sick, you give them a natural way to heal opposed to maybe an antibiotic?
Right, correct. Someone gets a cold and flu, we recommend echinacea. So I've got a great echinacea supplement that I've been using for years. It's been really, a mainstream, herb that's been around for years from the beginning of mankind, and it's really strong for cold and flu season. But yeah, mostly we have a remedy that can combat you from an ailment of any kind. Now, sometimes they're not as effective, and this is as an antibiotic or as a steroid shot. I get it. Sometimes they're not as effective.
But are they not as effective immediately? I mean, an antibiotic, they're effective immediately.
Right.
So in natural medicine, natural remedies, it may take a little longer, but it's better for the body. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. Most of the stuff that we're using is food for the body. It's not, like I said, an antibiotic against biotic life. So antibiotics against the God-given flow of life. So, but yes, a lot of times they are fast and you can see a quick response to it, a lot of times. But there are those, okay, I'll tell you, someone comes into my clinic with poison ivy or poison oak. That's one that isn't as effective of a remedy that I found up to this point, that, the itching and the scratching, it gets so bad.
Yeah.
I haven't found a really quick solution for that. But if someone comes in with a migraine headache, a cold or flu, an upset stomach, they've got diarrhea, they're throwing up, yes, I can see a remedy work pretty quickly like that. And I have pretty much my entire 26 years of doing what I'm doing.
And that holistic medicine, that seemed to have really gotten legs and really grown in the last 25 years.
It really has.
Yeah, people
really
want
has. So the way that I look at this, and I was talking to a client yesterday about this. I started 26 years ago. It was 1998, and in 1998, wellness wasn't even a word.
Yeah.
People that were seeking my services, they were dying of cancer, and they were diagnosed. They were given a death sentence. You got 2 months to live. You got 6 months to live. You got 2 weeks to live. That was who was my customer base in 1998. Fast forward to 2009 when Facebook first came out. I think it all changed when Facebook came out, and when Twitter started coming out. There were more people. There were more doctors and natural resources that you could follow through social media that really changed people's mindset. Today, I very rarely see that last-ditch effort person. Now, I still see them occasionally, but that's far and few between, where that's all I used to see probably from 1998 to 2005, 2006, 2007. So, and we're trying to figure out what made the change. And I'm thinking that social media really made the biggest change in the wellness. And around 2010, people started seeking more wellness and healthcare from that perspective.
Well, I think in the last 50 years, people have gotten a lot more health conscious.
Yes.
Working out more, changing their lifestyle, changing their eating habits. And so I can see where people would naturally, if I get sick, I'm going to seek a natural way to heal.
Correct.
Here's a $1 million question for you. What did you do about COVID?
$1 million question. And I got the $1 million answer. We literally did nothing. We did the same thing during COVID that we do during a cold and flu season. It was an upper respiratory infection. Cold and flu is an upper respiratory infection. Pneumonia is an upper respiratory infection. One of our big hits, so you guys watching this right now and you're thinking if COVID comes around, was getting in the infrared sauna. I would use my echinacea, get on echinacea.
Wait a minute. What? Explain that, echinacea.
Okay. It's a God-given root from the earth, and it's an herbal remedy. So you can find them at any health food store, probably any Target or Walmart probably sells echinacea as well. It's a common natural cold and flu remedy that boosts your immune system. Okay. So echinacea is known to boost the immune system. That's what it's all about. I use a liquid tincture at my clinic. It's very potent, and it really is effective. But then secondary was that infrared sauna. I believe the sauna was the key to helping people kill the virus, so it wasn't lingering as long as, you hear people that were, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and even those that had long hauling effects. We've had many long haulers come into our clinic in the last 2 years, and I'm always putting them in the infrared sauna, and they always 100% tell me they feel so much better once they start incorporating the sauna into their treatment plan.
You put them into, so it's just a traditional sauna.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, how does it work?
So it's a dry box. It's called a 2-person dry sauna. It's a wooden box that you sit in, just like you would think of a sauna.
Yeah. And
the infrared is different than your traditional sauna that you get at a health club. The infrared has infrared rays that will penetrate through the skin, and it will heat you up internally. So a sauna from a gym's perspective, it's hot on the inside. You're going to eventually sweat, but there's really no internal heating. That internal heating helps stimulate a detox effect, so your body's sweating out toxins that are inside your body. So there's more therapeutic things happening with an infrared sauna. But I'll tell people, if all you have access to is your gym sauna, get in your gym sauna. I want it, sweating is important. You've seen the Indians do this for years. They get in those little hot teepees whenever they're sick and they're sweating out their poisons. That's exactly the mentality that we have when we're recommending people to get in that infrared sauna.
What's your most common customer?
I love it. Good question. Another thing I talk to a lot of my clients about. Very common answer for me. My top client still today that comes in and sees me, they're diagnosed with diabetes, they're diagnosed with high cholesterol, and they're diagnosed with blood pressure. So they're on 3 prescription drugs. That's my top client. And they go to the doctor for the next appointment, and the doctor's getting the pen and pad out and getting ready to write another prescription. Mm-hmm. They finally say, wait, this isn't helping me, doc. I've done this too much. I want a different answer this time. Don't just give me a pill to shut me up or whatever. Literally, that's my top client. So if you look at it from that perspective, I look at clients that are still coming to see us are people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, so to speak, and they're getting treated medically with just prescriptions, and eventually a light goes off in their head and they say, I don't want this anymore. I want something better for myself. Yeah. What we want to do is we want to help people get off those prescription drugs. Mm-hmm. So my recommendation would be, if you're 65, if you're 55, if you're 45, if you're 35, you should not have to take a prescription drug to get through life. And it's really not that difficult to do. You don't have to be in perfect health not to be on a diabetes medicine. You don't have to be in perfect health not to be on a cholesterol medicine. But you do have to have some knowledge of what you're doing and education to get you there. And what we try to do is we just try to help educate people to better take care of themselves. Like I said, improve their lifestyle. The one thing that's missing, there's a time and place for medical doctors, and we all agree with that. I have no problem agreeing with that. But I think medical doctors are necessary in emergency room trauma health care. But when it comes to health care in general, this is where they're missing the boat. They don't really do health care. They do sick care by writing prescription drugs. Mm-hmm. Every doctor's appointment is a prescription drug appointment. Yeah. And they understand that's what you want when you go in, that you're going there because you want to walk away with nothing's wrong with you, go home, Yeah, you'd be mad if that happened, and you'd be mad at your doctor for doing that. So yeah, they're going to write the prescription. You're going to get a drug to go home with. And at the end of the day, you probably know that's not what you really need. So we're trying to help people prevent prescription drugs. However, there is a time and place for them. Short term, we don't want people on them lifestyle. The antibiotic is a 10-day drug. A steroid is a shot that you take and it lasts you 10 days to a month. But I wouldn't want you on a thyroid medicine that's 40 years. Your diabetes medicine is 40 years. Your cholesterol medicine, you never get off those when you get on those.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that once you're on them, you're locked in, and the doctor will give you a hard time if you try to get off of them.
You know, I'm kind of thinking that a traditional physician is not your best friend.
Hey, as long as I've been doing this, I've really never made a connection. You would think for 26 years I would have some medical doctor or medical practice that would be recommending someone for more of a holistic approach. If their approach isn't really helping them, and they see that their patient is not responding to their treatment, 26 years, I don't have a connection. Like I said, I don't hate medical doctors. I don't think they're the bad guys. The system, kind of like what happened with COVID, there were doctors that came out and spoke out against COVID and said, you know, don't be afraid of it, just like I was telling my clients, but they were censored and they were told you can't say that. You know, we want to make sure everyone's scared of this. We want everyone to go get treatments. We want everyone to go get the COVID shot that they were recommending. You know, that was the agenda, I believe. And so they censored people that were trying to tell people, don't be worried about this.
Yeah, more times than not, in every aspect of life, it comes down to money.
I believe so, definitely.
Doc, do you believe without a doubt that when God made us, he made our bodies to heal our bodies?
Absolutely, 100%. And that's where we're trying to get people to get back on to thinking that mindset. Your body was meant to heal itself. And the approach that we help people with is trying to get their bodies to heal, repair, recover the way God intended to. Somewhere along the line, when people do get sick, their healing system has kind of been compromised. And we're just trying to help get it back. Now, obviously, I mean, I don't have the cure to cancer. If I did, I'd have a mile of line out my door. I wish I did. I've seen many cancer patients. We've had a lot of success with them naturally, but you know, every cancer patient is unique and has its own little thing happening. But yeah, I believe the body can heal itself naturally if given the right tools, the right, you know, protocol. They can. But when you're dealing with cancer, and I brought it up, I apologize, I don't know if you want to go, it does become more of an emotional stressor in that person's life. So that emotional trauma, that emotional stress can outweigh the physical healing that's happening.
Sure.
And so there's the difficulties that I've found with people that have cancer and that get cured of cancer. It's their mindset. It's their willing to, I'm going to win. I say the Rocky Balboa, you know, win at all costs. If they have that mental attitude, the ones that I've seen, those are the ones that have succeeded. If they have 1 ounce of negativity, I don't know if this is the right decision. I don't know if I should be, honestly, listen, you got to do literally what your mind's telling you to do. If you have any doubt here, you got to do what your body tells you to do. Do not waste 1 minute having a negative mindset. And if it's going medical and it's doing the traditional pathway, that's what God's telling you to do. Go for it. You know, I cannot. I don't want you to have an ounce of negativity. So I will kind of just, if you can believe in this approach and you can be 100%, you know, committed, then yeah, you can see success. But if there's any doubt, that's where that emotional, because every day, every pain, every ache, every time they're not feeling well, they're wondering, am I doing the right thing for myself?
How devastating is stress on the body?
Very. It's the #1 cause of all disease. Stress is the #1 factor in all disease. And that's, you know, I had a 32-year-old kid come into my office. This was a few years back. He was going numb and paralyzed on the left side of his body. So 32 years old, his doctor wanted to do an open brain surgery on him. So we want to do an exploratory brain surgery on him. That's when he came into my clinic. All right, so that's the kind of client I get. Someone that says, whoa, hang on a second. Let me see if I can find something else. Well, at the end of the day, everything was leaning towards his job was excessively stressful on his life. And but at first he wasn't telling me that his job was stressful. He didn't know why he was going numb, but it was 100% job related. We found him a new job. I told him, I said, man, you're going to die. You'll possibly be dead at 39 years old if you continue on where you're at. This job is literally killing you, and you're seeing symptoms of it right now. He quit that job, found another job, that symptom went away. But that was it. It was his job. It was the stress. So many people, I will ask a client almost every time they come in, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your stress levels? Almost everybody will say less than 5. Many people say 1, 2, or 3. We all assume we've adapted to our stress. We think it's just part of who we are, and we don't consider it as a variable in our health.
Life.
But as we go through it, I'll start finding that these people have 7, 8, 9, and 10 on stress. They start crying because now they don't know how they're going to get rid of the stress because it's part of their lifestyle. Sure. But they do recognize that, yes, I am under a lot of stress. That's a big variable. And so we do talk about stress with our clients. I do try to get people to find a time during the day. And one of the things that you're part of that lifestyle change, you may have to find a 30-minute window before you go to bed every day to get yourself calm, get yourself relaxed, deep breathe, meditate, prayer, something just to kind of calm you down. And like I said, that could be a lifestyle change. And so that's that part of, sometimes people, they have a hard time changing their end of the day routine, their normal routine after they get home from work, you know. And so that's part of sometimes that we try to get people to recognize. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we live in stressful times.
Absolutely.
Inflation, and people, groceries are high, gas is high, everything is high, but wages stay the same. It's just a natural stress. I don't know how you compete against that.
Since COVID, I got a biofeedback scan. You know, I'll come by my office. Let me scan you. We'll get an idea on where you're at. But since COVID came out, every person I've tested in the last 3 years plus now has tested with excessive nervous energy. All right, so my scan will identify the anxiety and the stress that you're holding on to. But before COVID, it was 50-50. Some people were fine, didn't have any, and some people did have it. But since COVID, I haven't tested one person that has that excessive nervous energy. So yes, the last 3 years, and you know, with the inflation, everything you just mentioned, a lot of people are stressed out. 100%.
Yeah. How do they deal with that, Doc? I mean, if you were to say, if you had a congregation of 1 million people and you could say one thing to deal with your stress, what would it be?
Oh man, it's a good question. Supplement-wise, I'm a big fan of magnesium. So magnesium, everyone needs to be on. Find a good magnesium supplement. Start taking it now. Then I would say, just what I was mentioning, the meditation, the deep breathing, the prayer, finding some time, maybe even getting a yoga class. In the last 3 years, before, like I said, I've been doing this 26 years, I was a fan of yoga, but I never recommended my clients to do yoga. Not that I didn't say, hey, don't do it. It just wasn't something hey, you need to go to yoga. In the last 3 years, because of that excessive nervous energy, man, I've been telling so many people, go find a yoga class. And I'll tell you guys right now, you know, you ask, go find a yoga class. Do it with a purpose. Don't just do it looking at your watch, seeing how many more minutes I got left in class. Do it to unwind, to calm your nerves.
Do it on purpose.
That's right. Do it on purpose.
I love yogurt. Oh.
I do too.
Doc, right before we go, these things they go so fast. I'm gonna have to have you back.
They do.
Doc, who was the better influence, the greater influence in your life, your dad or your mom?
Good question, man. Both my parents were around. They were around my whole entire life. My mom and dad divorced when I was about 22, but my dad was still there. At the end of the day, it's probably my mom.
What's the one thing that your mom taught you growing up that to this day you still practice?
My mom was a military drill sergeant, so there was definitely some drill sergeant days. And she taught
you discipline.
Yeah, discipline. Oh, you know, going back from that, I had perfect attendance in school growing up as a kid. Just always being, being available. And when you start something, you don't quit it. And so that would be, looking at that level. Yeah, absolutely. I probably got that from both my parents, because my dad worked, always worked, never was sick, and my mom worked, so picking up that. I had a newspaper job in Anchorage, Alaska when I was 8 years old, delivering the morning newspaper when I was 8.
On a bike?
No, I had like a little sled that we had to pull on the ice. And my older sister did it with me, and we did it for 3 years. It was a 7-day-a-week job.
Yeah.
We woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went on this paper route. We still ask Mom, why in the world did we do that? You guys like to get up early. And so I'm just like, wow, we did that. But I've always worked. I had that job, and then 14 years old, I got a movie theater job in Abilene. When we first moved to Abilene, I worked there my whole entire high school career. It's probably one of my favorite memories of my life is working at that movie theater. I've got great movie theater memories.
Well, that's because you got free popcorn.
That's right. Free popcorn, free sodas, and every girl in town. We worked at the mall in Abilene. Every girl in town that was your age came to the mall, and we had the only bathrooms in the mall in the movie theater, lobby.
Yeah.
So at least once a group of girls kept walking through, so that was a big reason why we loved that job.
And you got a lot of girlfriends because of it.
I wish. I wasn't that, but I definitely flirted quite a bit.
Doug, before we get out of here, where's your place at?
Okay, it's in Lewisville. It's Old Town here, 200 North Mill Street, right across the street from City Hall.
Right across, okay. And do people need can people walk in?
It's a by appointment, but we feel free to walk in and, look at the office, pick up a business card, say hi, maybe learn something from the office. But yeah, it's appointment only.
I'm so glad you're here. You and I have become good friends because you eat my barbecue all the time.
I love it. Favorite barbecue? I'll tell you, and everyone always asks me, where can I go eat around here? I said to him, I said, man, the thing, just so you guys know, and this ain't made up at all, barbecue for me has always been hit or miss. I'm like, you got to be in the mood for it. Yeah. But your barbecue, promise you 100% the best I've ever had. So that's why you see me more here, because it's really good. And I love it. So I tell all my clients about you when they ask. It's like, man, go down there to the old meat market and go see Terry and go get some of that.
Tell them it's a natural body healer. Thanks, Doug.
Protein, man.
Thanks for coming in. Rich, take us out, buddy.
Thank you.